So we are back with the £250 budget track build MR2 that we actually purchased with no engine, as a complete rolling shell with loads of goodies in it, ready for a track build. So looking around the car, we had literally no choice but to get it back on the road. Unfortunately, we bought an engine that had completely seized and spun the bearings, so we got our truck back on the road and then went and got our donor car.
From 3, 4, 2.
So we got straight on the ferry on a lovely crossing and went and picked up our donor car and got it back and started the engine.
So one thing I know we do need is the gear selector cables, so they need to come out. And we also need this heat shield just to cover all the fuel pipes away from the engine. And we also need this whole loom that runs down here. And while I'm here, I'm just going to take everything out of this engine bay, so it just clears everything that we might need or not need. I know we need some of these pipes as well.
So with no time to lose, as we've got to get this track build built for the 21st of September, which is a food and fuel event, which is hosted by AutoAlex. And if I haven't mentioned it, yes, we're going to be up against his MX5. So we're getting out all the gear selector cables that we need for our track build and all other little bits and bobs. And also we're actually removing a lot of the parts just so we can sell them, so we can use that money to put back into the budget MR2, so we can get a lot more goodies that will hopefully help us get a better time on track or the hill climb that we're actually doing on the 21st September. So as you can see, we're ripping out all the carpets so we can get access to all of the looms and the seat belts. Also, we're going to swing round to the front to get that carpet out so we can get that passenger side loom that we need to put the turbo engine into our track build.
And after just removing the carpet, this is the loom that we need to undo, which comes to the footwell. There's loads of plugs up here, and there's one that actually links up just further up here that we've got to undo and pull away. Just there, you can see the little join there. As you can see, just here is the little junction box, and here is the loom that we've undone from there. Same with all these plugs just here, and they literally linked all inside the passenger footwell. And then that is that loom, all three, which links all the way back up to there and goes inside the engine bay. So as you can see, we've got the gear selector cables out. We've got the coil pack and igniter, and then we've got a few things for the mounts and stuff. And a few things like the coolant tree. Well, it's actually not a coolant tree, it's just a coolant housing where you top up for the coolant, but we don't have one of those in that one. We've got the main loom that we need, which goes to the engine bay, and we've got the shields. Now we're going to need a lot more, but we need to have a quick look around that car what we've actually got in there. I actually don't remember if we've even got a positive starter cable, which obviously goes to the battery from the front to the back of the car, so we're going to need to check that as well. So guys, we've really got to start building this car. We've got an engine to build, we've got this MR2 to sort, but we are waiting for parts for this engine. We're going to do a cam belt, we're going to do a new clutch, we're probably going to get another turbo, possibly a screamer pipe, but that's another purchase that might not be in the budget build, but nice to have that screamer. But we've got so much to do to this yet as well, and still take parts off the MR2, which is actually behind you, so we know exactly what we need to put on this. There's still a lot to do, so with all that in mind, let's crack on. Inside the car, we're literally just pulling all of this loom out that we don't need, that runs across all the way the back. And some parts we do need, but we're going to get rid of the stuff that we don't need. We're going to try and remove some of this stuff as well, which is really annoying. It looks like someone's tried to scrape it off. It just needs to be softened somehow so we can make it a little bit cleaner. We are actually going to put another center console, well this one, because there wasn't one, back in, so we've got somewhere to rest our arm, because this is a nice place to rest your arm when driving one of these. So that will be going back in. Obviously got to put a rear window in, that will kind of help. But a question for you guys, we've got this roll cage in. Do we keep it black, or what colour shall we paint it if we're going to paint it? Let us know in the comments down below.
So we actually removed the center console out once again, so we can actually remove this loom, which controls all of the speakers and the amplifiers that were in the back. Obviously we don't need speakers and amplifiers because we're going to have the sound of the engine, so we're just pulling that out so we can remove this loom.
Literally just trying to figure out how we're going to fit these perspex windows, because obviously we're not going to have the up and down function anymore, because obviously this is going to be the slide, and this won't go down the door frame. So we will keep this glass just in case we get fed up with these, and we will keep the regulators because worst case we'll put the glass back in. But we're going to try and put these in for now. There's a good weight difference and it's just race car, so why not? But we're just trying to work out, the previous owner had actually put a couple of holes, so we're trying to work out how we're going to mount the window or the perspex plastic, whatever you want to call it, sort of a window, inside the car. So let's go and figure out what to do. So literally just trying to figure out how to fit this window. We've put the window weather strip sort of back in, and these little bushes, well, they're like little guides, so when the window goes up and down, it guides the window in the sort of right direction down the runner. So we're going to probably bolt those in just so it holds the window in place, and then it looks like they've clamped something around this side holding that end in, and they've also drilled a hole in this end. So we're going to try and see how we're going to mount this. This is not normally my sort of field of expertise. This is where I need Mr. Goddard, i.e. MJG, but he is on holiday, but we're going to try and do it ourselves.
So, after much swearing and many bad words, I have decided to leave this to MJG grits. I can get it in place, but I really need some brackets made up unless I use the standard window regulator again, which I want to try and avoid because it seems pointless having that in the door when I don't need it.
One thing I have noticed though is the lights are on, and now these clocks are plugged in. There is literally no light whatsoever. Clock still works, kind of cool. But yeah, no lights whatsoever on the clocks. I do apologise for the lighting, I'm going to sort that out. So that is the loom that we've actually put down, which runs all the way down the passenger side to the front footwell. Now, for some reason, and this is the same on the crashed one, the rear, just only this light is stuck on. So I'm a little bit confused because I thought it was just going to be the brake pedal switch, but I'm wondering if there's a relay playing up or resistor or something caused from the crash that's maybe shortened something from the front to the back, if that makes sense. Or I'm just waffling an absolute load of, yeah, probably more likely, but it could be something to do in here. So we're going to fiddle around with some fuses and try and figure out why our interior lights are not working and why the rear lights are playing up. But the good news is we do have rear lights. We've got headlights, which is pretty cool. It's getting a little bit messy in here. I need to tidy up as well. Oh yeah, can't get much more JDM than that. Lights are on. This is good. So yeah, first problem solved. Yes, the tail light is on, and yes, it did happen on the other MR2, which I thought was because it was crash damage. So I thought, must be something to do with that loom. Maybe there's a split wire or something. No, after investigating, not a problem. However, I did notice that this side here literally has no bulb in it. So yeah, that's the obvious thing to check. But I think it threw me out because I was thinking about that one that was crashed. So next thing, you're going to be like, well, that light's still on. Let me show you. So putting myself in some very awkward angles under here, which is really not very nice. The top of the brake pedal, I don't know if you guys can see, you see that little switch just there? On the other side of that, there is a little switch, but I can't do it. But basically there's a little switch that's stuck out, which means it's keeping the brake light on. So there's a little bit of rubber that sits just on the top of this pedal that keeps the brake pedal up. And when the little switch is going in and out, basically once that's all broke away, the tail lights stay on. So I'm going to need to get a new, whatever it is, rubber. Basically, this was the last piece of it. So I figured out why we don't have an indicator, and I think the stalk's broken. If you listen carefully, literally nothing. However, if I push this stalk, wait, see, now the indicator's working. Same with up, nothing. Although if I go down, hear that relay clicking? There you go. That side's working as well. So I think the stalk is actually broken, and obviously maybe when I'm turning the lights on, it is not turning the lights on in the cluster. I don't know, because I also can't get the interior lights to work as well. So there's a few electrical gremlins here. Let's solve them. Oh yeah, look at that. Blue LEDs as well. Very, very nice. I like that. Do you know what the problem was? It's because the dimmer switch was not plugged in, and I didn't realise if you didn't have it plugged in, then obviously it wouldn't work, which was, again, another schoolboy error from me today. Okay, issue number 3, sorted. Now, what was it? Very simple yet again. This needed an earth, which is not a problem because I did try and earth it and it still wasn't working. Literally all I did was wobble the bulb slightly. Literally, this bulb was literally just not quite contacted in there. Problem solved. So 3 out of 3. That's a hat trick of human error and pure stupidness right there. So sometimes you should just not work on cars, and that's probably me. Maybe I need more coffee. Let's go make one. With the electrical issues now sorted, now I have the coffee. Look how cool this mug is, by the way. I actually got this from my sister, me and Buzz there. It's like heaven up in the mountains. Anyway, getting really distracted. So, yes, there is a lot more to do to this car. I am now going to have a look at this radiator setup. I have got some mounts that I'm going to put on. And there is some lower bushes that I need to put on further down there. But that actual radiator is really good. It also comes with a nice slimline fan that I'm going to wire in. As you can see here. Oh, and it comes with 2 new genuine radiator supports, which is cool. The bushings at the bottom, I didn't know that. And then this will be mounted on the back of that as well, and probably one of the standard ones as well. We'll see if that fits and that fits, because it's all about cooling on these cars. So now our attention goes back to the red donor car Donald. Now we're actually taking off the rear window surround trim here because we actually need some of the clips that hold the rear window in. Do we actually need them? Maybe not, but because they're there, I would like to have them. And anyway, I'm going to take this rear glass out, and I've taken the side glass out, as you can see already, and it's just handy to have, as you never know when you might need them. And these pieces of glass are not actually easy to get hold of these days, as you may know, because these cars are getting very rare. And some of you guys may notice I actually used a wallpaper scraper to make my way around the initial glass molding, or sealant as you may call it, and it helped scrape by just to get it out. Is it the way to do it? Absolutely not, but it worked for me. So, as you saw in the last clip, I am now a professional windscreen remover replacement person. But we are going to give this a go. The only annoying thing is this here, where it's been sprayed, they've gone right over the line where this panel actually splits away from that. So my worry is that's going to completely split the paint along here, which is a little bit of a concern. But I need to do that so I can get this rear screen in. Okay, as you can see, the paint is cracking, and it's got a really thick layer where it was once white already, then red, and then white again. So it's like it doesn't know its own personality, this car. But it's meant to be white. That's the colour it's going to be. It's going to look a little bit off in some places. Doesn't matter, because whoops, it's got to be a track car anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But we need to get the glass in because we can't, or the plastic in, because we can't have a track car without no rear window. So let's just get this lifted up and glue that. Alright. So in this week's What's the Worst That Can Happen episode, we're going to actually just put a load of that black sealant, whatever you want to call it, Mansory glue, whatever. We're going to put it in and, yeah, just send it. In this week's episode, I can't do this. This car's never really going to be out in the open anyway. So as you can see, I've literally just dashed a load of mess everywhere, and I've literally just pressed it down. I could have made that tidier. I'm not bothered because the thing covers all that anyway, so that is not a problem. It's still a little bit tacky, as you can see. I need to get a clamp or something just to hold that there, but that will gradually work its way away anyway because of the way the curve of the window is. And when I looked at the original glass, that was the same on that one. The annoying thing about this panel is it weren't quite the same size as the original glass. Like, this was slightly short at this end, same as that end, and also the size of like the width of it or the height of it was slightly different as well. So this rubber seal doesn't quite fit properly. Typical Perspex or polycarbonate window, never quite the same. But to be fair, it's a track car, that will do. I might replace these glass ones at some point. But actually, when I compared the weight of this panel compared to the glass panel that I took out, there wasn't that much different. And I know it's a safety thing because if you crash and the window smashes, whatever else, that is helpful. But I've still got these here. Do I buy these? Let us know in the comments down below. Is it worth it? These are quite easy to take out, to be fair. I've actually taken those ones out, which was really easy. But do I go for the effort of replacing that? Or should I just get the engine in and get on with it? Let us know in the comments. It is the following day, and actually, I'm quite happy how this actually come out. Yeah, it's not the prettiest on the top here, and I did just smudge it over, but you don't see that, so does it matter? But it's made a nice seal, it's not gonna leak, it's solid, looks good all round. Inside actually isn't too bad either. All looks quite tidy, and there's a few bits I can quickly clean up, but all in all, pretty good. Super happy with that. Nice and solid. I might actually replace these at some point, just so it's all done, all round. But then again, you know, the windscreen's glass anyway, and I know that smash is very different. But I don't know, I might leave those till a last minute, get the rest of the car done and not worry about that. But yeah, super happy with the rear window. So just gonna put that surround back on now, and then hopefully that will hide a lot of this, and yeah, it will look quite good. So at least that is all on, and we have the window now in, which is lovely. As you can see, this is what I was on about. Yeah, you could have smoothed that all down and we could try and patch it in, but literally, what is the point? These are not going to be painted, the spoiler's not going to be painted, there's loads of imperfections, the roof isn't straight, so, because obviously they put that plate in there, so there's loads of things not right with this car. Again, there's like red along there, that I'm going to try and get out, but there is loads of not so perfect bits on this car, imperfections, that's the word, Buzz's toy, good old draft, but we're going to make it the best we can in what we've got, and after all, this is a budget track car, so let's crack on and do some more. So coming around the back of the car, you have may noticed that we have changed the rear lights, and that's because before we had the kooky rear lights, which is the newer rounder style lights, and yes, I do think they look better. So we're going to crack on, bodge some holes, remember, measure never, cut 5 times. Yeah, we're just going to send it basically and hope for the best. Really happy with that rear window though, really good. And as you can see, I've put the spoiler briefly back on with just 2 bolts, and here are the springs attached to the panel. Some of you may say this is not right, but this will do for me. That is solid, it's not going anywhere. These are easy to pull off. There is going to hopefully be a boot mount inside this boot, but there you go. That is that all mounted in place. So literally just had Buzz, our postman, turn up. It's his nickname, by the way. But we just had him turn up, and he has delivered these gear selector bearings. As you can see, that is what they are. And here is what we are changing. And we are getting rid of these. One of these has already come out and went on the actual gear box shifter, which is actually kind of handy because now I don't need to get that one out. But we've got to push this one out, which is not too much of a problem. And then we're going to put these bearings in, and then we can actually fit this gear selector inside the car, and then that is another jobbed. So lovely.
attention to the MR2 Turbo engine, and that is because we've got a few things that we need to address. One, we need to take off this cracked downpipe. I want to get rid of the aircon. There's a few bits I need to get rid of. I'm also going to go and talk to Martin and do a whole ice blast on this engine and the gearbox. That'd be kind of cool, kind of exciting. Get that done just to clean it up. I'm not going to paint the block. I'm going to keep it all nice and original and clean, same as the gearbox, but I am going to paint a few pipes and stuff. We'll actually get Martin to powder coat them. So aircon pump removed, turbo downpipe removed. There's the state of that, look. That literally fell apart. Every time I was taking the bolts out, it literally, or the nuts away from the studs, it was just breaking apart. But we have got a little boo-boo that we've got to fix. So as normal with these, and I was really trying not to ruin this bolt, but where it's obviously been on and it's probably gone in cross-threaded, it was so soft it just snapped. So I've got to drill that, it was a bolt out of there. Aircon pump's been removed. And enough talking, let's crack on and strip the engine down and get the cam cover off. Just taken the cam cover off, and as you can see, this is literally, was meant to be rubber and it is literally now almost plastic. It hardly wants to bend. It's very, very solid. So we've got to replace this seal, and we will be doing this one as well. Again, as you can see, and all this crud in here will also be cleared out, but this is very, very hard. Inside the cams all look quite nice, all on the lobes. They don't look too worn or anything either. They have aged very, very well. This has done 94,000 miles, some of it in kilometers as well. But we're going to whip the plugs out at some stage, not now because it's good to keep the plugs in there so nothing goes inside the engine. But we are going to whip the injectors off and the manifold. We're going to probably put bigger injectors in because we're going for more power. We have got the later model injectors, but we might even go bigger than that and go a standard and go a standalone ECU. But that is something that we've got to look into. But for now, guys, unfortunately, we've got to wait for some parts to come, so we can't do much else with the engine. Yes, we could do a little bit more on the body, but we are going away. Well, I am going away on holiday this week, so unfortunately, there won't be any more work done to that. But the good news is while I'm away, hopefully a lot of the parts will turn up. So the next video, then we can get all the new gaskets and seals all ready on that engine. We need to do a little bit more research, which we'll do on holiday, regarding the turbo, the ECU, etc. We got some of the front ducts coming for the to cool the brakes as well, which would be really, really cool. And we've got a few little extras for the car all on the way. So until they all come, that will wait until the next video. But if you have got this far in this video, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, hit that subscribe because your support means the world to me, and we can grow this channel and do a lot more builds like this. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.